Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today, and welcome to this official press conference for the International Ice Hockey Federation Men's and Women's Ice Hockey event of the 2022 Olympic Winter Games. Before we begin, I'd like to have a few introductions. First, joining us on my far left is Zsuzsanna Kolbenheyer, chairwoman of the IIHF Olympic Women's Ice Hockey Tournament, Luc Tardif, IIHF president, and Petr Briza, tournament chairman for the men's ice hockey tournament of the Olympic Winter Games. Before we open the floor to questions, I would like to ask each of the participants to share an opening statement, starting with Zsuzsanna.
Sorry, thank you very much. So thank you, Adam. I also would like to thank and welcome everybody who are here. I think so far we could see a very good women's tournament and for the first time with 10 teams. Our objective was for the whole season to raise the profile of international women's hockey all over the world. So we focused on the women's tournament coverage. We employed designated women's hockey ambassadors from the participating teams, athletes, and they created content for us from the athletes village and also from the locker rooms, for example, and our aim was to promote our women's hockey event. In total, 66% of the IIHF social media posts were focused exclusively on women's hockey. I think this is something very important that we can show that we care about our women's game. Working with our M&As closely, we've published and targeted content to audience, especially in Japan, Denmark, and Sweden, in order to increase the growth and engagement in also those countries. Japan has the highest level of engagement, with Denmark second and Sweden third. We still have a lot to work to do to raise the level of play in our women's hockey event. In total, there have been 9 games with 5+ goal difference. Compared to the 8 games at the 2018 Olympics. But we also had more games here with the 10 teams. And compared to that, we had only 6 of those games at our 2021 Women's World Championship. And it shows that the level of play is getting higher and higher. For this Olympics and already before for our World Championships, we have increased the number of women's teams competing in the top division to 10 teams, and we will evaluate in the future if we should recommend IOC to increase also the women's teams to 12 teams as on the men's side, because we think that equality is very important also for our sport. We also would like to thank Team ROC for their cooperation and patience dealing with their multiple COVID issues they had on their team. They also showed great character and team strength and were able to compete with other teams fairly and safely. Teams have reported great satisfaction with the facilities at the Wukesong Arena, and I also would like to thank BOKOK staff and volunteers for their hard work and dedication to ensure the top level quality women's event. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Zsuzsanna. Next, we will pass the word to Petr Briza.
Thank you, Adam. Good morning, everybody, also from my side. Congratulations, Zsuzsanna, for the great tournament today. The final game, we still have 4 games to go, most exciting games during the tournament. But when I come back, it was not easy to prepare the whole tournament in December. We got the information that NHL couldn't come and couldn't participate. As you know, there was we had long months of the negotiation. Unfortunately, due to COVID, NHL couldn't participate, and we started immediately to renegotiate with the European leagues. We had a meeting in the middle of January, and we faced a lot of challenges, especially with the testing of the players, the national teams, the European, and also Canada and USA Hockey. They have players across the professional leagues in Europe, and due to requirements for the testing and the certificate labs, and due to the really full schedule of the European leagues, it was quite a challenge to get all players safe to Beijing. I would like to thank to the European leagues, to the clubs, to the players, to the managers. Everybody showed a great commitment, helped each other, and as you probably know, the last games of the European professional leagues were on the 1st of February. So bring the players here. There was a question if we can be successful. We were, and we are really happy about it. I would like to thank to our president, Mr. Tardif, also for the initiative with the so-called taxi squad. There was additional 5+1 players. And as soon as we got this decision, it was a little bit more comfortable for the for the teams, because they know that in case of some outbreak, they still can use some additional players. So altogether, it gives us a good base for this tournament. As the women's tournament, we are happy with the quality. Really good games. We had. Some surprises. I think any hockey tournament needs a good surprises. So congratulate the team Slovakia to achieve the semifinals, and let's go for the medals. And I think the players, they are really excited to be here and to fight. I would like to thank them as well, because as an athlete, coming through all those restrictions, and really they showed also patient, persistent, and commitments to our sport, and we are really thankful for them. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. Next, we will pass the word to IIHF President Luc Tardif. Luc.
Hello, everybody. Thank you to get up so early to come to this press conference. First of all, I would like to say a few thank you to the two chairmen. That was not an easy tournament to drive. Not usual Olympic Games, and the preparation and what happened here on site. I should say the first part of the competition was more concern for us about the COVID case than the standing. But quickly, and now the competition took its place, and now we get a really exciting competition with a lot of surprise, exciting game also. And I want to say that at the end, the gold medal will always have the same value. So to have this gold medal, you have to be there. Sometimes you cannot because of injury, because of COVID, but it's important that we keep the flame of these Olympic Games. And I would like to say thank you to IOC and BOCOC, because that was not easy to, first of all, keep this competition, and that was important to play this competition. And you're right, Peter. I think the staff, the M&A, the players, they really play the game, and that was important that they get involved. And I think now they start to enjoy and discover maybe what is the Olympic Games. So the organization on the ice was perfect. We struggled a little bit because the COVID protocol was not made for team sport, and especially for professional. As you said, Peter, when do you play the last game on the February 1st or February 2nd, and you jump on the plane and come here? So that means that's a challenge to have a negative test, first of all. And that was a challenge also for all the teams to quickly have a complete roster. And for that, the discussion with IOC and the BOCOC and the health authority, they accept some advice of us, and that's why we can bring in another taxi squad, if I can say, and we were more comfortable to the end of this competition. Certainly a question will come about participation of NHL or not in the future, what happens. So I want to answer right now. That's the job of IIHF to bring the best player in this competition. This competition, or doesn't matter which other competition, that's our job to do everything to bring the best player at this competition. We had an agreement with NHL, and fortunately the COVID decided that was not possible. And believe me, the negotiation with NHL, I think we've got a base, a positive base. If positive, that's not a right word when we talk about the COVID, but a positive agreement to look, to be a little bit more optimistic for the next Olympic game. But what is important, and that was our most difficult challenge, to organize quickly, and I want to thank you really, European leagues and KHL. They play the game and they make possible this competition at a high level, because we had to reorganize at the last moment. 1 month, that's not a lot. Some had to stop their competition to organize themselves to come here, and that was really a good challenge, and they made it. So the message I would like to do is I don't want to be in the same situation in 2026 in Cortina. So I don't like to put a deadline or something like that, but for the organization, I think we should have, and it will be our goal, and we start already, and I think NHL is ready to do that, have an agreement earlier and make sure that we have time to organize the next competition. If NHL is not coming in 2026, so last time there was Sochi in 2014, it will be a big problem. I mean, for the participation of NHL, I don't want to put pressure, because that's not the way to organize that. But quickly with NHL, I think everybody were sorry that was not possible to bring out the best player, and that was a missed appointment, if I can say. But I'm optimistic for the next rendezvous. So thank you for the organization. I think IIHF, through the two chairmen, all the staff of IIHF, the cooperation with IOC and the BOCOC was really fantastic, not an easy context. And I think the competition is not over. We already had a lot of surprise, and I'm sure that the rest of the competition will be exciting. So rendezvous to Cortina, but I think you're going to have a lot of questions about hockey world, international hockey world, and we're ready to answer all your questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. Next, we will open the floor to questions. Just a couple of notes for media that are following the press conference remotely. You're able to submit questions to the OS reporter on site. We also have simultaneous translation available in English, French, Chinese, and Russian. So I will now open the floor up to questions. Raise your hand if you have a question, and state your name and media organization and to whom your question is directed. Donna Spencer, go ahead.
Hello, Donna Spencer, Canadian Press. This question is for Luc, because Zsuzsanna and I have already communicated on this subject of women's hockey. You know, there are people who are saying that women's hockey does not belong in the Olympic Games because it's not competitive enough. We were having this conversation 12 years ago in Vancouver. We've seen around the world there is unequal investment in women's hockey by the various countries. And we've also seen during the pandemic, there's been less will to overcome pandemic challenges and make women's hockey happen compared to the men's. So what is the IIHF prepared to do to incentivize investment in, and quite frankly, will in women's hockey going forward? Thank you.
First of all, I think that's important. That's important to because I want to officially said that that's unfair to say that IHF doesn't care equality, and I think what happened. I'm sure that that's what you're talking about. We had to cancel the tournament in January. All of a sudden, and that was a good decision to cancel this tournament because first of all, you saw that with the junior we had to stop the competition, so that means that was about the same time. But quickly, I think I had all the hockey players go jumping on me, and we didn't have time, at least because, yes, we canceled, but like we did in Nova Scotia, quickly we took a month, and finally, the year before, we played the World Championship in the west part of Canada during the summer. That's exactly what we're going to do. So, we're talking about 4 tournaments, not only the top-level tournament. So I can announce you at the moment that it will be played in June in USA, and all the other tournaments in Austria, in Hungary, and in Turkey, so the lower division, will be played during the summer, and that's already well organized. So sometimes it took just time to organize that, but the treatment will be the same. And sometimes that was a little bit unfair because a lot of people blame IHF because the treatment of World Junior was not the same. Just remember, in 2020, all the tournament of the women will be been played because the COVID came after. So this in 2020, we cancel 15 of the 21 tournament were supposed to, for the men's, were supposed to be played. And we cancel only 4 of 11 tournaments. So that means sometimes numbers are important. Outside of that, since I'm a president, so that means the end of September, we put 5 million Swiss francs to help the qualification round, and I'm not going to say the prize money. I will say more Olympic support. 5 million more than it was. Yes, that's not completely equality with the men's, but we are going for. So outside of that, about the tournament, yes, we had a lot of discussion, and I think everybody remember at the end of the tournament in Vancouver. So we had the president of IOC said, if the women tournament, that's at the end only USA against Canada, so maybe we can stop and think about something else. I don't accept that, and since that, big country like USA and Canada got involved in the development of other country, and that's difficult to see exactly the result, but really there is a big progress of women hockey. Like, I think USA, they will play the final, but they struggle against Czech Republic, they struggle against Finland. We had some tournament, World Championship last in Finland, been play the final between Finland and USA. So the ice hockey is coming up in Europe. Leagues organize, KHL invest and get involved in the financial side for the professional league in Russia. I hope it will be an example maybe for NHL to get involved in the women hockey. But believe me, IHF, we want really to push that idea. A lot of leagues organize themselves in Europe. There is a big league in Sweden, well organized in Finland. And now that we just have to wait that all the work done is coming over. Here in the Olympic Games, that was a little bit different because the preparation was not was different for the European team and the North American team. So I think we cannot judge the level through this Olympic game, but because that's unusual. But believe me, and who knows me as at the head of the French Federation, I'm not the guy who don't believe in women hockey. I think Zsuzsanna, by my side, she's always there to remind me, but she doesn't have to push me a lot. And I'm convinced, and I believe in women ice hockey. And we've got more and more teams involved. Sometimes that's surprising. We've got 3 complete teams in Ireland. And every year there is 1 or 2 new M&A joining the World Championship, and the women hockey on the international way is in good health. So that's what I can answer. So rendezvous we don't know yet because we're gonna give all the detail, but it will be the first part of June in the north of USA. And I would like to say thank you to USA, which take the lead to make possible that there is an edition of Under 18 this year, 2022, during the summer. And also all the other countries like Hungary or Austria and Turkey who accept to postpone their organization during the summer. And believe me, sometimes that's not easy. So we will have a complete Women Hockey World Championship program, and I'm really happy to announce that.
Thank you for the question. Stephen?
Steve Wino, Associated Press. For any of the 3 of you, the attendance at the hockey obviously has been kind of managed, but organizers expected it to be 30% of arenas, 50% of arenas. It looks like it's about 5% of the arenas. I'm curious, is the attendance matching up to what organizers and the IOC told you folks about what to expect for the hockey?
You're talking about TV audience, huh?
No, the attendance in the arenas.
Okay. If that's difficult for us to handle this question because, like all of you, we realize who's are in the ice rink, but these last days we got more people. We don't know exactly if it's school or not. And what is sorry, but that's difficult with the we don't handle that. But I think they want to open a little bit more for the final, for the semi-final. But what is important also, because for IIHF, our job is try to bring ice hockey all over the world. And I was not skeptical when we came in China, but I think I didn't. That was difficult to read the impact of this Olympic game for ice hockey, not only in China but in Asia. And like just to give you one number, because I was on television a few days ago, China play against Japan. There is a big that's a derby, and they told me that at the end of the game, 90 million people were watching that game. So those numbers, that's unbelievable. So what is important for me, I said, yes, with the COVID, who's in the stand, the most important thing is the competition had a big impact on the Asian people and China. And when you, at the head of the International Federation, and you want to bring ice hockey all over the world, I think you have to start with China, with the potential. They build, the last 2 years, 89 rink and the last 4 years much more. I don't have the numbers exactly. So now they've got tools with the impact of this World Olympic Games, and I should say that's 10 years of an Olympic cycle in Asia, because that was in Pyeongchang. Now we've got 22 association members coming from Asia, and we are 82 nation. That's important, and I think all the other big federation, they want to bring their sport all over the world. Football, they open much more. After that, there is a decision, too much or not, but they want to open. Rugby did the same thing, and I think that's our job. And Asia and those 2 Olympic Games, hockey will not going to be the same in Asia, and that's a good thing for our international ice hockey.
Thank you. Next question.
Ian Axon from Reuters. Just picking up on your point that you made about wanting to work more with the NHL to develop women's hockey. I wonder if you could talk a little bit more about that. And it's something like a European soccer model where the big teams have an affiliate women's team, something that you would be interested in pushing for.
Yeah, we're gonna have pretty soon a meeting because first of all we've got some topic on the discussion, and Gary Bateman and Bill Daly and myself, we want to quickly come back after the Olympic Games and after the difficult season NHL had, but that's not over for them. And we really want to start discussion about 3 things. First, the next Olympic game, for sure. Try to push this frustration away from both sides. And I think that's important, and they understand how it's difficult for us to wait till the last moment, and last moment is that's not 1 year before. 1 year before, that's also in a hurry. So they understand that's not easy for us. That's not easy for IOC, and that's also frustrating for the fans and the player. So that means that's why I'm optimistic for the next one. Outside of that, we had a lot of discussion also about the calendar. The international schedule involve the Olympic Games. That's the discussion we had with European League. I think that's IIHF to do a kind of coordination of the schedule. So coordination of the schedule. NHL think about why not organize another World Cup. It will be one of the discussion we're gonna have, and probably a step to prepare an international break for the next Olympic game. So there is nothing done, but the discussion are open. After that, there is also under 18, because under 18 I want NHL to get involved with us to bring under 18 World Championship at the level of under 20. Is now under 20. That's one of the most important competition of our program. So I think with the draft, that's important, and everybody really excited about cooperation about that. And that's my idea, because I think KHL show the way. They get involved in women hockey. I remember NHL was said yes, but there is 2 leagues, North American, but now they bring together. And I think the conditions are a little bit more open for an involvement. But it will be a part of the discussion. But I think the next step will be there. When KHL organize and get involved in the organization of the league, quickly the level of the national team went up. They included 2 teams of China to prepare also China. So I think all the things are ready to be discussed. But that's we open the discussion. But really, I hope I can convince NHL to get involved. That's another story. But we're gonna do our job and try to open the discussion.
Thank you for your question.
Luke, Steve Keating from Reuters. I just wanted, you mentioned in your opening statement that you were optimistic about the NHL coming back. Have you had any conversation with Gary at all about, just a general thing? I realize we're still playing this Olympics, but have you had any conversation with him at all? And also about hockey in China. The MLB came here 14 years ago, built stadiums with great plans to grow baseball here, and it just didn't happen. Your Kunlun's future is up in the air. They don't really know. What makes you optimistic about the fact that the game can actually grow here in China after these games?
First of all, about the first question, that which conversation, when we first meet each other, Gary Bettman and Bill Daly and Peter and myself, I said, I don't want to talk about the Olympic game because usually that's always the same story. We discuss and at the end you're not coming. So let's talk about something else. So I think we can help because that was really important for the marketing side of an NHL to come in China. But I think we are more prepared to bring ice hockey because that's not, I agree with you, basketball, they made it because they had a important star from China. But here in China, for ice hockey, we have to build everything. And this Olympic game was the first step. It will be a long-term work. Russia get more involved. They've got, they include Chinese team in KHL, at lower level. They've got 2 teams from women in the championship. But it will take a long time. I completely agree because that's something different, and that's not in the, I say that traditional sport. But everything is not coming only one time. If we don't try, sure we're going to have any success. So for us, we believe more of work with Asia, organize the World Championship, and what we want to do is be here, have an office here, try to work on the development because all the young kids will start, and that's where we have to start. It takes a long time, and maybe IIHF's got more time in front. We've got more time in front of us to bring ice hockey in China on a sustainable way. But it will be a long term. But just the impact of those 2 Olympic games in Asia, so they're building 2 Olympic-size rink in Thailand, and we got more and more. So that means we can help, and we can have a common goal with NHL to really bring ice hockey in a sustainable way. But that's not going to be tomorrow. That's not going to be the day after. It will be a long term, and maybe we've got better tools than NHL to do that. But we can work together. Outside of that, the other question was the relationship where we want to build. Even if we fail and they're not coming from for this Olympic game, that was the first time we had an agreement, and really till the end. They try on their side, and we try also, and not only IIHF. That's important that everybody know that BOCOC get involved in this agreement, and IOC get like they never did about some open space for the marketing, about some condition. Yeah, with the COVID, we made some ambulance flight possible to make sure, but. Quickly, when they start to cancel, I think there was 100 game at the end of the Christmas time. We understand that it was difficult, but the negotiation, the relationship, the agreement is still there. And I think I want to start with this base, and that's why I'm optimistic. But I'm always optimistic, but realistic too. So, quickly, I had a phone call yesterday with them. They're following the competition, and we're going to meet each other in March for different topic. But we both together, we decide to have a more, how do you say that, more meeting together. Like we create, and that's brand new, a kind of presidential task force, and bring as participant, not participant, representative people from European League. We talk with KHL, and they will join us. NHL would join us, because that's where we want to build a kind of a coordination of a schedule, and that's the relationship I want to build. And I think they're open. They're open for that.
Thank you. Next question.
Can I have that? Okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
Maybe my question will be, my answer will be not complete, but the most important thing is we're going to have an edition, 2022 of the World Junior. It will be in August, middle of August, and will be in the west part of Canada, Alberta. We need some more detail. It will be a new competition, so that means we forget all the results. We start from a new competition, but in the same condition of age, category of age. And so that on the March 15, because we're talking with all the participants, but that's almost done, but they still negotiate with the room and board, the country, some detail. But this competition will be played in August, middle of August, and it will be after, because we want to do a kind of, I'm not going to say ice hockey international festival, but right after the Wayne Gretzky tournament for the young kids. And I think it will be really interesting. All the national team are excited to do it. I don't know if it's going to be the same team or they change the player, younger. I don't know what they're going to do, but I can confirm you today that the World Junior will be playing in August in the west part of Canada, and you're going to have more detail because we're going to do a conference. Press conference with Hockey Canada. There is just few details to sell, but I give you welcome for the World Junior. That was not easy for the beginning of my mandate with the COVID. I don't know if it was the rookie test of the new president, but I think we took a right decision. Sometimes some people say, how come you start? But you have to remember that on the 13th of December, nobody talked about the Omicron at that time, and it comes so suddenly. But I think that was the right decision because the competition was going nowhere. Sometimes we have to handle the health condition that province or government gave us. That's why August, that's important, a little bit more far away, because what we would like is to make sure there is less protocol, or even much better, no protocol. And so this way we can play in the usual condition. But we're working on it because they're the health authority. But what happened in the world, now that's a little bit more open. So in August, I hope this edition will be like our World Championship, next World Championship in Tampere. we are in a hurry to play those tournaments coming in usual condition.
Thank you. In the back row.
If I may, just
Sorry.
one addition, the tournament under 20 in August gives us a possibility to go back to relegation. As you know, that due to COVID pandemic, we said no relegation, and it would end up with 11 teams in 2023 World Championship in Novosibirsk. But this gives us opportunity to come back to relegation and to usually format of 10 teams for the next championship.
I said thank you to USA Hockey for the women, but I have to say thank you also for Hockey Canada, because that's not easy. They have to do the job twice during the summer, but quickly they accept to try to find a way. We work together, and also at the moment we're working with all the national team. Everybody are excited. That's few details. But that's a challenge to organize the World Championship, so big competition, twice in a year. So I hope the next time it will be the good one.
Question in the back row.
Okay, thank you. Good morning. I'm Aviva from CMG. As you mentioned just now, Mr. Tardif, you said the future and the potential of ice hockey maybe lies in Asia and in China. Why would you say that? And then Beijing 2022, what do you think of the organization of this Winter Olympic Games? That is the only one big comprehensive games that has not been cancelled during the COVID-19. How would you evaluate Team China's performance during the ice hockey Winter Games, both men and women's ice hockey? And how would that impact the development of ice hockey or winter sports in China? And also, there are two stadiums during these Olympic Games, the rinks, the stadiums for ice hockey games. What do you think of them? Any plans in the future that IIHF will host more international games here? Thank you.
I think I'll let Peter talk about the competition and the organization, and after that, if you don't mind, I will talk about the impact of this Olympic game on China. Peter?
Yep, thank you, Mr. President. You know, it's so challenging due to in COVID times to really create a safe environment. We are talking about ice hockey. It's most likely 40 people around together with the players around the team in the locker rooms, in the environment which the virus really loves because it's cold, and so you can have a really tremendous spread in a very quick time. But back to the organization, I think that Zsuzsanna can also support me. We were so satisfied and so happy, and thank you to all the volunteers, to the all staff. They work with us in the both ice rinks. It's challenging because the men's tournament, for example, you have 3 games during the day, so sometimes it's a stressful. But all people we met, they were so helpful, and they try to be with us. To the development is, as Luke said, you know, ice hockey, it's all the time a long-term project. It's not individual sport. We need to create the base of the kids, and it takes 10, 12, 15 years until the system really produces great hockey players. So Team China right now work really hard on the participation on this Olympic Games, and we had some concerns in November. We were looking on the team if this is a competitive day. We are really happy that they showed, and they played great games, and their performance was actually the quality of the Olympic Games in this tournament, and we really wanna continue in this cooperation, and then try to show them how to be better during next years. You know, IIHF is not. It's not possible that we deliver the fish to our M&As, to our members, but we can really work together how to fish and how to get more fishes. And we will be on side of Chinese Ice Hockey Federation in the future. Basically, we really believe that this is a great motivation for them and great start. The organizing of the next championship is all the time the responsibility and right of the local M&A. So we really hope that that encourage them to send the applications and to really bring more and more international events in Asia. In our IIHF structure, we create. We call it cross-principle system, which is working also on the regional base. We have two possibilities how to be better. It's an Asian and Oceanic Strategic Planning Group, and we have an Asian Development Committee. So both they will work together to bring new projects in China.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. You were mentioning the youth base. Do you mean that in China?
It's generally in Asia and generally in every country, you know, because we call it kind of a pyramid, and to have 25 good players at the end of the process in the professional team, we really need to start with thousands of kids at the beginning. So this is where to start.
Just to add something about Chinese ice hockey, I'm not going to say that's the beginning of something. That's, in French, we call la renaissance, revival, because the women, they were in Vancouver. They were competition at the competition at high level. So that means we are not worried about the level of the women because they play in Russian competition. So that for us, that was not didn't have any concern about that. That's for the men. That's something else. Just to remind you, in 2007, China played Division 1A. So that means at the door of the top level. But I don't know what happened. And they went down the division by division. And so that we don't start from nothing. So that means that was more in the north, Harbin, Chichihar, or those countries. But now there is they built 15 rinks 14 rinks in the last 2 years in Beijing. And all those venues will stay and will be, I hope, well used for the development of ice hockey. So that means it will be a long term. I think that's difficult to judge the level of the competition with the Chinese team. I think we're happy because they did well. But we're going to have to build a real Chinese organization. It's going to take time. But that's good that China performance on the women's side, they win 2 games and they played well. For the men's, everybody was worried. We wanted to do a test to make sure that they were at the level. They were. When that's the first competition you play at this level, you need some experience. I think they had a little bit surprise of the quality when the first game against the USA. But after that, they were a little bit more adapted. And you have to do this kind of competition more and more to improve your level. And so that means that was your question. The impact of these Olympic Games for the future. Really, I believe that what I saw and the commitment of the authority, that's the most important thing. Because if after the Olympic game everything goes down, that's not going to help. But now there is really, and I can feel it, really commitment of the authority to push a little bit and surf on the wave more than, okay, we made our job. And just have a look of what happened before Sochi and after Sochi. more for the women hockey. So before Sochi, they prepare for Sochi, but they keep the momentum. And now the level of the Russian team is they're coming to the top level, and I'm sure the next Olympic game it will be another step. It took time, but the most important thing is the venue out there, the financial impact out there. They're ready to organize high-level competition, because when you taste to organize a competition like that, you want to come back. You want to have some others, and you give the experience. So we're gonna push, because I think that's important to, in the center of Asia, have a good organization here in China. There is a lot to do, because ice hockey had their place at the high level with South Korea and Japan. And so I think we start Asian challenge between those countries. And I think the next step will be maybe a professional league between South Korea. They had a test, but I think they need some help. But for sure, in the next 4 or 5 years, a professional league in Asia will come back.
Thank you. Next question, Pavel.
My question is to Luc Tardif. What do you think about idea of NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman to remove ice hockey to Summer Olympic Games? It will decide all problems with NHL players.
First of all, and sometimes when we discuss with IOC, they say yes, but basketball, they are coming and they don't ask for a lot of things. But basketball, that's and football, that's during the summer, and they don't have to stop the competition. That's not the same. So now I think they understand a little bit more, and also that's not easy for European and even KHL. To stop the season. That's professional. The owners, they want the players to play. They don't like then they have their player coming back from Olympic game or some other competition with an injury. So there is a lot of discussion, try to make understand IOC that's not the same thing. For sure, during the summer, solve everything. But I don't believe it will happen, because take out ice hockey from the winter sport, that's not going to be the same. The winter sport, that's winter. I don't believe that IOC will accept that. But if it can help for the discussion or IOC to be in the better condition to compete, it will help. But I don't think it will happen. That's my personal opinion.
We have time for a couple more questions.
Harry Thompson with USA Hockey. I was wanting to ask you about, you talked about the growth of the game around the world, but also maybe talk about the development of the game, and just how all these countries work together to develop players. And then my second question is there's been talk about a 3-on-3 tournament, such as with the Youth Olympic Games. Is that something that is possible moving forward?
I will answer on 3-on-3, and you will answer for development, because that's the boss of development. And just before to give him the floor, development was one of the most important topic of our mandate. As president, I was really convinced that we need to have sustainable development. So not bring ice hockey somewhere, but make sure that everything is done to the first step of young kids on the ice, are bring those players at the best level, and we need, as you said, cooperation between country, and I think everybody's ready to do that. 3-on-3, because that's interesting. We made an experimentation in the Youth Olympic game in Lausanne. That was more festival of youth than a competition itself. But that was interesting because we work about the rules, we work, and we made this competition, and that was really exciting. and surprising and quickly. Personally, I think it's a good tool for development. So after this experience, discussion with IOC, they said, oh, okay, but we want that next time it will be more in a competition level. So next time in Pyeongchang, it will be national team playing. So that means when that's a festival, the rules are, that's not serious, but different. All the coaches were from IIHF, so to make sure that everybody's at the same level. But when you talk about competition, you the referee, so you have to, and that will be our next experience. And IOC asked it for us, and so we were happy. For me, this 3-on-3 is important because that's a really important tool for development. A lot of sport did that. Rugby, they went from 15 to 7, and now they are in the Olympic game. Volleyball, they bring a new format with the beach volley, 2-on-2. Basketball in Tokyo, for the first time they play 3-on-3. So I think that's important for ice hockey to bring a new format. First, that's a tool for the development, because for some country have 12, 13 players to make a team, that's much easier than 22. That's another kind of practice of ice hockey. The kids at the moment, they're, old guys like us, we can watch 2 hours and a half, 2 hours 15 a hockey game, but the kids at the moment, they zap, they can watch 5 games at the same time. And maybe we can have a format more adapted to a new public. We always gonna play traditional ice hockey, but why not try to find a way for a new format and a new proposition to practice ice hockey. Outside of that, sometimes that's a little bit frustration. You're coming here, the women, they start 2 days before the opening ceremony, and we are the last competition at the end. So we bring here, I don't know how many people, the referee, and at the end we've got 6 medals, 3 for the men's, 3 for the, and you see some other discipline, they can win, I don't know how many medals for the same sport. I think that's the time to come back, to come with another proposition, with more presence of ice hockey, and that's my goal. Start a negotiation on those sides. It will be difficult for Italy and almost impossible, but I'm thinking for after, because we have to make another kind of proposition, and so there is a different, I would say that different. Good result can come up of this experimentation, and I want to try, and we jump on that. We even had the discussion with KHL, who is really interested, and when we first talked about it, everybody was a little bit skeptical about are they ready to do that or not. And I was surprised of how a lot of country want to, and top country want to get involved in that process. So I think that's the time for ice hockey to try to find another way for practice, because if we don't do that, some other will do that, and I prefer that it stay inside of IIHF. You want to talk about the development?
Yes, please. After elections in this September, the new council decided to create a new strategic plan. We are in the year 2022, and we said we really want to see where we go in the next 5 years. And we consider ourselves not only as a governing body or legal body or organizing tournaments. We are aware that we are competing with other sports. It's we are not enemies inside. I don't say that we have enemies, but we are competing, and we have to be attractive for the kids. As I mentioned before, it's a long long wait until you can have a professional team and watch the hockey game. And ice hockey is also facing some challenges. It's expensive infrastructure, equipment. You need more kids and bigger number of the players. So in some countries, there is a limited number of the ice rinks, which actually doesn't give you the tools to be better in the short time. So we concentrate on the cooperation together. We have big differences in IIHF. We have top countries, and then we have really small developing countries with just a couple people working in the federations. I think it's not unusual. It's also the case in the other federations, but we need to get all stakeholders together. The big ones is NHL, NHLPA, KHL, European leagues, because the goal should be or must be for all of us to develop the sport. We're not only talking about development of the players. Our task is or challenge is to develop also the federations, to help them to be bigger, more successful. They can sell because at the end it is about the money to create a system. So it's not only about focusing on the players, but now in next 5 years together more on how to be better as an organization and as a member national associations. And back to the Olympics, finally both ice hockey tournaments, and we say there is only one sport for both, for males and females. We are more than 34% of the content of the Olympic Games. We started the competition with the first day and we end up at the last day. So we deliver a lot of sport here, and we are a big part of the Winter Olympic Games, and we want to be even stronger. And of course work on the new possibilities. The 3-on-3 opportunity might be great for the smaller countries. They are not able to get the full team, and it might be or must be a beginning platform to grow and to really show the hockey in many other cities. So it's a long term. It's a big challenge, but everybody have a good feeling that the cooperation of all stakeholders can really bring the results.
We have time for one last question.
If I can add, Adam, about your question, participation of high-level team to help. We will have a program we will start called Flying Coaches. And it will start with the participation of USA, going in New Zealand, South Africa, Australia, and China. So our program is send flying coaches, women, goalie, referee, organization, a staff to bring all the players of New Zealand and organize a kind of a clinic or something like that. We do the same thing held by Russia for those countries who speak Russian. And we will start this new program, so that means we bring at home and do the transfer on knowledge and sight. We start this year this program with an experimentation, but that's the kind of work go try to help on site with the mentorship of high-level country. And every time we ask them to do it, they're really hoping to do it. So that means now just we're gonna ask them more and more, and I think they're ready to do it.
Last question to Rustam.
My question, how can you estimate the preparings to World Junior Championship in Novosibirsk? How can you see, are there any maybe problems, especially Novosibirsk? Is that everything ready for tournament?
So when we organize a World Championship of that level in Russia, in Canada, in USA, or in Finland and some other country, also Czech Republic, I'm not going to give all the names because if I forget one, That's not a problem because they know how to organize this kind of competition. So that means, yes, everything is ready. And more than that, with the cancellation of the World Championship, we had a problem because since we went not till the end of the competition, we were supposed to play with 11 teams, but we're going to solve that because you come back with the beginning of the competition. So we're going to have one team who will go down, and Belarus is going to be promoted. So we're going to have an unusual World Championship, regular World Championship. But IIHF staff, like they do usually, they go on site to make sure that everything is well prepared. And even with the COVID, that was not easy to travel. But we're really comfortable and optimistic about this tournament in Russia, because that's always a really high-level rendezvous, and that's always exciting for all the country to come in Russia, and important ice hockey country like that. So everything is ready. If I can answer directly your question, and more than that, that was not easy, because when we talk about 11 teams. So that means we had to change the model, but with the tournament in August, everything will be solved. So organization is ready as usual in Russia, and the level of this tournament, I'm not worried about.
Thank you, everyone, for your participation in this conference. Thank you to IIHF President Luc Tardif and to IIHF Council members Zsuzsanna Kolbenheyer and Petr Briza. Thank you to the media, and we look forward to enjoying the gold medal game today. Thank you.